What if I told you that reversing type 2 diabetes isn't always about eating less, but eating smarter? And what if I also told you that your first meal, your first movement, even your first glass of infused water in the morning could change your blood sugar curve for the entire day? Today, we're breaking down the exact daily habits proven to reverse insulin resistance, lower blood sugar naturally, and improve metabolic health. If you've been told, just avoid all carbs and you'll reverse diabetes, you only got half the story. Because research from organizations like the American Diabetes Association, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, CDC, and NIH has repeatedly shown that diabetes reversal is possible when insulin resistance is reduced, and insulin resistance can be reduced through daily behaviors, not extreme restriction. Let's jump in. Habit number 1. Start your morning with a glucose-friendly drink. Most people wake up and go straight for coffee with sugar, creamer, or tea with honey. But the first thing you drink sets your metabolic tone for the next 3 to 4 hours. This is where infused water becomes a game changer. Why it works. Hydration affects insulin sensitivity, kidney glucose clearance, blood viscosity, appetite regulation, cortisol levels, which heavily affect morning glucose. What to drink instead? Consider starting your day with citrus-infused water, like lemon, lime, or orange peel. Contains polyphenol that support insulin signaling. Cucumber plus mint water. Hydrates deeply and stabilizes morning cortisol. Cinnamon-infused water is shown in several clinical studies to reduce fasting glucose. This isn't magic. It's physiology. Most people are slightly dehydrated in the morning, and dehydration alone raises blood sugar. Hydrating early helps your cells uptake glucose more efficiently. Habit number 2. The protein-first breakfast. If your breakfast is mostly carbs, your glucose spikes early, and your body spends the rest of the day chasing those spikes. Why protein fixes this? Protein increases satiety, improves muscle glucose uptake, stabilizes insulin release, slows gastric emptying, reduces carb absorption speed. A protein-first breakfast can reduce glucose spikes by up to 30 to 40% according to several controlled trials. Examples: instead of toast plus jam, bagels, instant oatmeal, try eggs with veggies, Greek yogurt plus nuts, tofu scramble, cottage cheese bowls, protein-rich smoothies, salmon, or tuna with cucumbers. Take 20-30 g protein minimum. Habit number 3. Food pairing. Here's the part many diabetics were never told. You don't have to eliminate carbs. You just have to pair them correctly. Studies show that combining carbs with protein, fat, or fiber can dramatically change glucose absorption. Examples: pair whole grain pasta with chickpeas or lentils for fiber plus protein. Pair corn tortilla tacos with avocado and grilled chicken. Pair fruit with nuts or cheese. Pair quinoa with tofu, tempeh, or edamame. Pair sweet potatoes with almond butter or pumpkin seeds. Why it works. Fat slows gastric emptying. Protein reduces post-meal glucose, and fiber prevents rapid starch breakdown. It's not about avoiding carbs. It's about avoiding naked carbs. Habit number 4. Eat in the right order. Multiple trials show that simply changing which food you eat first can reduce glucose by 30 to 50%. Take fiber first, e.g. vegetables, then protein plus fats. Carbs last. Example: if you're eating chicken spinach whole grain rice, eat the spinach, then the chicken, then the rice. The carbs hit the bloodstream slower because fiber plus protein form a natural barrier in the intestines. Even if you eat the same meal, the glucose curve changes dramatically. Habit number 5. Move after every meal. Walking for 10 minutes after meals has been shown to significantly lower blood glucose. Why it works. Movement activates muscle fibers that absorb glucose without insulin. This means your blood sugar drops even if your insulin levels are low. What counts is movement. Walking, light cleaning, folding laundry, climbing stairs, gardening. But walking is easiest, and it targets the soleus muscle, a glucose-burning powerhouse. Habit number 6. Choose slow-burning carbs. Not all carbs are equal. The worst offenders are carbs processed into fine powders. Avoid or limit white flour, sugary cereals, instant oatmeal, pastries, crackers, chips, white rice, unless paired properly. Choose instead steel-cut oats, whole intact grains, beans, lentils, barley, quinoa, bulgur, brown, or wild rice. Slow, steady burn, stable glucose. Habit number 7. Try a high-fiber strategy. Fiber slows digestion and reduces the speed of glucose entering the blood. Aim for 35 g per day from sources like vegetables, beans, chia seeds, flaxseed berries, whole grains, nuts. Fiber also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which directly improves insulin sensitivity. Habit number 8. Stop eating late at night. Eating right before bed creates the worst glucose spikes because insulin sensitivity is lowest at night, pancreas is less active, melatonin reduces insulin release. Finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Habit number 9. Strength training 2-3x weekly. Building even small amounts of muscle dramatically increases glucose uptake. Muscle is the body's largest glucose reservoir. More muscle equals less glucose staying in your bloodstream. You don't need heavy lifting. Try bodyweight squats, wall push-ups, resistance bands, dumbbells, glute bridges. This habit alone has been shown to dramatically lower A1C over time. Most people living with diabetes are told to just exercise more, but nobody talks about how incredibly difficult that advice is in the real world. Exercise, especially strength training, is hard to stick with. Let's see why, and more importantly, how you can overcome these barriers in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and actually enjoyable. Why most people don't exercise, backed by behavioral science. 1. Low energy levels and fatigue. People with type 2 diabetes often experience chronically low energy, driven by insulin resistance and poor glucose uptake into cells. When your muscles are starving for energy, even 10 minutes of movement feels like climbing a mountain. Strength training becomes a last thing on your mind. Science shows that unstable blood sugar affects mitochondrial function, the part of the cell that produces energy, making exercise feel harder for diabetics than for the average person. 2. Intimidation and gym anxiety. Many feel that gyms are not for them, especially if they don't know how to use the machines, they fear being judged, they feel embarrassed about their weight or fitness level. This anxiety alone stops millions from ever starting strength training. 3. Time constraints. A lot of people juggle multiple responsibilities: work, commuting, children, cooking, caregiving, and their schedule leaves no space for a 1-hour workout, let alone several per week. Most diabetics aren't avoiding exercise. They're simply overwhelmed. 4. Pain, joint issues, and age-related decline. Joint pain, neuropathy, arthritis, or post-work fatigue make exercise feel physically punishing. And let's be honest, if something hurts, we avoid it. 5. Unrealistic expectations and burnout. Most people start too big. 1-hour gym sessions, intense routines copied from influencers over complicated equipment. Then they crash, burn out, and quit. The key problem is that the approach is unsustainable. Wise strength training is a game changer for diabetes. Research from the American Diabetes Association, Harvard, and numerous clinical trials show that strength training increases insulin sensitivity for up to 48 hours, builds muscle that acts like a glucose sponge, reduces belly fat, which worsens insulin resistance, improves metabolism even while resting, helps control appetite naturally, stabilizes fasting and post-meal glucose. Just 2 20 to 30-minute sessions per week can significantly improve HbA1c levels. This is one of the most powerful yet underrated habits for diabetes management. How to make strength training easy, natural, and impossible to fail. 1. Start with micro workouts, 1 to 5 minutes. Science from B.J. Fogg's behavior model shows that tiny habits are the easiest to stick with. Examples: 10 squats, 5 modified push-ups, 20 seconds of wall sits, 1 single dumbbell exercise. These micro workouts feel too small to fail, but the habit tracks in the brain are still formed. Once a habit is formed, you can upgrade to longer sessions. 2. Train at home with zero equipment. You do not need a gym. Effective exercises include chair squats, wall push-ups, glute bridges, resistance band pulls, step-ups on stairs, countertop push-ups. These build muscle, improve glucose uptake, and eliminate the barrier of leaving your house. 3. Use the exercise snack method. Instead of long sessions, research shows short bursts of movement throughout the day are extremely effective for glucose control. Examples: 1 minute of squats before a meal, 20 lunges after using the bathroom, 10 push-ups before showering. These mini sessions keep muscles activated all day, dramatically flattening glucose spikes. 4. Tie the habit to an existing routine, habit stacking. Attach strength training to something you already do. After brushing your teeth, do 10 squats. After morning prayer, do 5 push-ups. After taking water, do 1 minute wall sit. This eliminates the mental load of finding time. 5. Prioritize enjoyment over intensity. You don't need brutal workouts. Light, enjoyable strength training done consistently works better for lowering blood sugar, reducing insulin resistance, improving metabolic health. If it feels good, you'll stick to it. 6. Track only what matters. Instead of calories or reps, track energy levels, mood, post-meal glucose. When you feel the difference, more energy, fewer crashes, better sleep, and it becomes easier. Identity creates consistency stronger than motivation ever will. Reversing diabetes isn't about starving yourself. It's about outsmarting glucose with the right habits. Hydrate early. Eat protein first. Pair carbs correctly. Move after meals. Choose slow-burning foods. Build fiber and muscle, and stop eating late. These small choices stack up, and they're powerful. If you learned something today, hit subscribe, because I'm also dropping a full breakdown on apple cider vinegar and how it can support healthy glucose levels. You definitely don't want to miss it. This video is for informational and educational purposes only and does not provide medical advice or create a patient-doctor relationship. The information shared here is not a substitute for professional medical guidance, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have diabetes, prediabetes, insulin resistance, or any other medical condition, always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, supplements, exercise routine, or lifestyle. Every person's health situation is unique, and a licensed medical professional can provide guidance tailored specifically to your needs.